Sorry about that. Per usual, I had some technical difficulties. So hopefully I'll just give everyone a moment to switch over. So if you saw another video that was there for like 10 seconds, just click out, come on over to this one. Sorry about that. Seems to be the way things are going. So I'm just gonna wait a little bit till people come over here. All right. Hi, Jen. Hi, Chris. Hi, Tricia. I'm just gonna wait a little bit while everyone, hi, Rona. Everyone joins. So where is everyone visiting me from today? Last Facebook Live, I had people all over the world, so that was kind of cool to see. We had people in, oh gosh, South Africa, Australia. It was really quite neat to see everyone from all over come and join me in saying hello. So I love the fact that the internet can connect us so well. So hi, Missy. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Diane. Ooh, Niagara Falls, Canada. I've been to Niagara Falls. It's lovely there. Hopefully you're getting some nice weather at this point. So thank you, Jennifer. So we're just kind of doing a social cocktail hour for the next hour. There's some book talk I want to do. I'm going to re-announce a few things about my upcoming book, and we'll do a few giveaways, and then just sort of like a ask me anything, and then wrap it up. So just kind of waiting a little bit as everyone is joining. So
we've got Teresa from Michigan.
Hi, Teresa.
Missy from Colorado.
Hi, Missy.
Amanda from Manchester, New York.
Oh, Manchester. Hi, Amanda.
Diane from Cooperstown.
Ooh, hi, Diane.
Betty from Memphis, Tennessee, checking in.
Ah, hi, Betty. Ooh, Memphis. Very cool.
Yeah. Heidi from Western New York.
Hi, Heidi.
Stephanie from Tennessee.
Stephanie, hello. The Scotsman is being so kind as to kind of run background for me here. So,
Tracy from Tampa, Florida.
Oh, hi, Tracy.
Marcy from Phoenix.
Hi, Marcy.
Jen from BC, Canada, British Columbia.
Hi, Jen.
Oh, Dodie from MS. Michigan. What's MS?
It's from Michigan.
MS?
Yeah. Cool. Hi, Dodie. I think you were the one with the margarita. You'll have to let me know if you are.
Deb from Gulf Coast, Florida.
Ooh, hi, Deb.
Kathy from NC,
North Carolina.
North Carolina. I'm learning all my abbreviations.
The Scotsman still, yeah. He's been to a lot of the states, but he's still learning many of them.
Hi, Diane.
Hi, Diane.
We got Colleen from Robbinsdale.
Colleen, hi.
MN. MN?
New Mexico.
No, M. Mother. MN.
Oh. Maybe I'm not understanding you. All right, so what is...
Mississippi.
Oh, Mississippi. What is everyone drinking for your cocktail? I am drinking my Dark and Stormy. So I was just going to show you. I'm not going to mix it up because then I have to go to the kitchen, bring you with me, bring back. So
MS is Mississippi.
Mississippi.
And we've got Terry from Wisconsin checking in.
Hi, Terry. It's from my home state. So for those of you who are asking, a Dark and Stormy is a very simple but tasty and refreshing cocktail to have, especially when you live in the tropics. Typically, you will make them and drink them out of these lovely copper mugs, but because, you know, a little bit of a hazard of where I live, the mugs do sweat. And so instead, I have made mine in the corksicle, so it's not dripping on me the entire time. But these are quite nice to have, and it's kind of cool to drink out of, and you feel very festive and like you're being an adult and making a proper cocktail. So with that, you like to take a dark spiced rum for this one. This is the one that I have used. Other ones that people prefer, I think, are the Gosling's dark spiced rum, but I like this one just particularly because, you know, there's an octopus on it. So you do about 1.5 shots of that, or more if I'm being honest. And I really like this ginger beer. This is from Australia. The Scotsman has toured their brewery there. So this is quite tasty. Now, no, this is different than ginger ale. So ginger beer and ginger ale are kind of two different types of sodas, essentially. But this does not have alcohol in it. It is just essentially a different type of soda. So dark rum, ginger beer, and then just some lime, fresh lime squeezed in. Now, if you're a purist, stop right there. If you want to add a little bit more, I like to sometimes add a little bit of mint, or you can also add in, those little candied gingers. You can put a little candy ginger in there to add a little spicing it up. And I'm sure there's a bunch of other twists on that, but I kind of just do the dark and stormy and enjoy. So just give cheers to everyone. The Scotsman is drinking.
Wow. He's drinking a bit of a stereotype.
He's drinking whiskey. He's drinking Highland Park 18 right now.
So we've got a few people joining us for the happy hour. So okay. She's got herself a vodka and soda.
Ooh, yeah.
Deanna's checking in from Florida. We do have a bit of a time difference, so Jen she's having some sparkling water, and our friend Michelle still is on coffee.
All right, fair enough.
We've got Jillian and Rhoda checking in from Scotland.
Hi,
Lucia's
Jillian.
joined us.
Hi.
Hey, Kathy from East Texas. Oh, Deb's having a blueberry monitor. I don't know what that is, but it sounds delicious.
Deb, what is this blueberry drink you're drinking?
Oh, it's a mojito.
Oh, it's a mojito. Blue, come here. Okay. Oh, sorry. This one has been, he keeps hearing me talking. He wants to know. So, he needs to say hello.
And Dori says slante. So,
Slangeva. Yes, Slangeva.
Joanne's joined us from North Texas. Cindy from Ormond Beach, Florida. A few people checking in from Florida.
All right, Florida. It is happy hour in Florida. Well, really, it's happy hour. It's happy hour anywhere you want. So, cheers. Thank you for joining me, everyone.
Sylvia from Omaha saying hi. Oh, Jillian's having a gin and lemonade.
Ooh, Jill, that sounds good.
And Jeannie's on the Baileys.
Ooh, Baileys. Let me know if you guys can hear the Scotsman behind the computer speaking or not. If you can't, that's the person I am just randomly speaking to behind us. And of course, Blue says hi. You want to say I love you? You say I love you? You okay. That's Blue saying hello, checking in. He's saying cheers to everyone. All right, so for most of you who have joined me before or who have been on my Facebook page, you know that I have a big book launch coming up. But some of you, I know everyone's can be quite busy right now and there's so much craziness going on in the world, so I'm just going to do a quick reintroduction of Miss Bitch, my book that's coming up, and go over a couple reviews, and then we'll get into some other fun stuff. So for those of you who are just learning about the book, this is a passion project of mine, a book of my heart. It's called Miss Bitch. Alan, if you could hand me the cover. Here is the cover. I just ordered my print copies, so for now we just have to do it this way, as Blue is licking my hands. You can see underneath, he's licking me. So this is Miss Bitch. Finding Happiness is the Best Revenge. And this is a book of my heart. I will just quick read the description and a few reviews that I have gotten that I absolutely love. So, Blue is, can anyone see me, guys?
We've got a little giveaway coming up.
We do have a giveaway coming up. So, all right, Finding Happiness is the Best Revenge. From the outside, it seems 36-year-old Tess Campbell has it all. A happy marriage, a successful career as a novelist, and an exciting cross-country move ahead. Tess has always played by the rules, and it seems like life is good. Except it's not. Life is a bitch, and suddenly so is Tess. When Tess discovers the truth about her marriage, she decides it's time to live the life she's always wanted, despite what her family and the snake of an ex-husband expect of her. Tess throws caution to the wind and embraces her lifelong dream of exploring the world. Her first stop, scuba diving in Mexico. The sharks she can handle, but the handsome Scottish diving instructor with the flirtatious smile and broad shoulders has Tess tied in knots. With her hard-won independence on the line, Tess must decide what's scarier, learning to love again or letting her past control her future. Funny, heart-wrenching, and brutally honest, Miss Bitch explores one woman's journey of accepting herself and breaking free of the toxic bonds that hold us back from the life we are truly meant to live. So thank you all for those of you who have already pre-ordered and for all of the feedback I've been getting on it. This is fantastic. I really, really appreciate it. Some of the reviews have honestly had me in tears. So those have been from my beta readers and some of my fellow authors, which I really, really enjoy being a part of the author community. Having a hard time looking around Blue here. One of the things I really enjoy about being an author and part of the author community is the fact that most of us aren't competitive with each other. We all really support each other. They're sort of like all of my online colleagues because writing is such a solitary thing and you don't go into work every day and have people to talk to. And so we join these forums and groups online and we virtually meet each other and support each other. And so I love the fact that we can hand our books off to each other for critiques or for reviews or sharing with each other. And you're not competing against each other. Like we all lift each other up together, which is great because, as I've heard from all of you, I don't write fast enough. And so when you're done with my book, it's good to go read other people's books because you all read much faster than we can write. So here are a couple of reviews from my beta readers, which I thought were quite lovely. Yes, Blue. I can't really. Blue really likes being a part of this, and I did hear quite a few emails and comments after the fact that Blue was requested again on the Facebook Live, so this is why he's hanging out.
Betty says hi to Blue. She was an 11-year-old Boston Terrier.
Oh, Betty, you have a Boston Terrier? What's his name? Or hers? You'll have to let me know. So here is one review from a beta reader. This book completely hooked me from the very beginning. It's a good book because it takes a painful subject and infuses humor and warmth into what is obviously a painful experience. The story completely drew me into the beginning. Story of Tess and her marriage, dissolution of marriage, and her illusions about her marriage and herself. It's a story of growth, heartbreak, and also friendship and the family drama that we all have in bits and pieces that are painful, yet Miss O'Malley handles with sensitivity and humor. The story was a gem to read from the beginning to end. I actually went back and read it again to catch the nuances I may have missed in the hurried reading initially as I devoured the book the first time. It's that entertaining but real. You truly feel the emotion. Kudos to Miss O'Malley, one of my favorite reads from you so far as it touched so close to home. That's from Susan. Thank you for the lovely, lovely review and for your support. I really appreciate it. It has touched home to me, realizing as a shared experience, I don't know that there's many people that haven't had some sort of heartbreak or loss in their life that they've had to work through and get to the other side. So it's really quite lovely to sort of have these comments and these emails that I'm getting where people can share in a similar experience. So this review I actually thought was quite interesting because it raised some points that I'll bring up after I read it to you. I'm going to try to sit up just a little bit here. So this review is from Shannon. Does the world really need another book about a woman finding herself after a painful breakup? Yes, when it is told as Tess's story is. Miss Bitch is a work of fiction drawn from Tricia O'Malley's own life experience after her first marriage ended. It is an honest, beautiful story of one woman redefining her life and finding joy. A story of self-empowerment without the blame, hatred of men, or the belief that evil patriarchy is keeping all women down, contained in so many stories of a similar premise. This is a compelling story of a woman finding happiness after realizing conforming to the strictest mores and norms with which she was raised isn't working for her. Refreshingly, there is nothing revolutionary or angry about the protagonist. It is a beautifully told story of a fairly normal woman finding joy and strength while embracing the changes and obstacles existence throws at all humans. The story gives one pause to consider the consequences of their own choices. It helps that these bigger questions were brought about by a very easy-to-read, captivating story of one woman's path to happiness. It is a story filled with humor, kindness, a bunch of fun travel, beautiful oceans, a bit of romance, and a lot of heart. I've read and enjoyed many of Miss O'Malley's works, but this one felt so relatable and true to life, I wondered just how fictional it was. So the reason I really loved this review is it actually raises questions that I received quite a bit after my divorce, or even when I was going through it. So one, obviously it's a little bit tricky to be a romance writer and also going through a divorce, which is at times when I switched a little bit more to Blue distracted me for a moment there. It's during that time, it's when I switched to writing a little bit more of the tequila series, because I needed sort of that palette refresher. It was tricky to write romance during that time, but a lot of people ask me, do you still believe in love? Are you jaded about it? And no, I'm not. I believe in happily ever after. I believe in love. It's such a connecting force for all of us around the world. And I just feel like it would be so sad to close my heart off to that. And it would go against what I actually write about. And also, one man hurt me, not all men. And so when you talk about, do you hate someone or hate all men because one person hurt you? And no, I don't. It's not fair to subscribe belief about a singular person who has caused me pain and anger to all of the gender. And so, no, I'm not a man hater, and I definitely do believe in love and happy endings. And I'm happy to say that I've found my happy ending and can really comfortably write romance again and not be so, sad as I was during that tough time in my life. So the Scotsman is smiling at me over the computer. All cute.
And Nancy's joined us from Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania.
Hi, Nancy from Philadelphia.
Tricia says hello from Wisconsin.
Hi, Patricia from Wisconsin. Have some cheese for me.
Hi from Arizona.
Ooh, Arizona. Hi, Carrie.
Rhonda from our own little island.
Hi, Rhonda.
Oh, and Deval checked in.
Oh, hi, Deval.
What's his name in the book? He is a friend.
Are you outing him?
Oh, no.
There's a couple of the characters in the book who have just signed on to say hello, so.
He says you look amazing.
Oh, thank you.
We've got Fran from Indiana.
Hi, Fran.
Lynn from South Carolina.
Hi, Lynn. Hope you guys are all enjoying your cocktail. Duval, what are you drinking? I hope it's something tasty.
We've got Regina from Pennsylvania, PA.
Was it Regina Welly?
I've lost it.
She's one of my author friends.
We've got Cassandra from West Texas. Oh, we've got Catherine from Alaska.
Ooh, Alaska and West Texas. Hello.
Patty from New Jersey. Amanda from Buffalo, New York. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, but Vivlin from Florida.
Vivian?
Vivlin? Vivian?
Vivlin? Well, let us know how you pronounce it. So again, thank you all for all of my beta readers who have chimed in and given me great reviews. Thank you so much. I'm excited to announce that the paperback version of Miss Bitch is now live, and you can order that on Amazon. The hardback and the audio are to follow. My wonderful narrator, Amy Landon, is doing the narration right now, actually, as we speak. So hopefully it won't be too much longer after the book goes live that the audio will be out as well. 1 second, I think.
Vivlin. I did apologize.
Oh,
there we go.
Vivlin.
We got Kathleen from Florida.
Are you trying to get down? What do you
Nancy says, thank you for all your books. They help her decompress after work.
Oh, you're welcome, Nancy.
And we got Sheila from Wildwood.
Hi, Sheila from Wildwood.
That sounds cool.
Sounds like a cool name for a town. What is everyone currently reading right now? So I've been kind of on a KF Green kick. So she's one of the authors that's been sort of in the author forums that I'm a part of, and I've seen her name around for a while, and I just randomly picked up one of her books a couple months ago, and I've started working my way through a lot of them. She's very much in like the magic, paranormal, but I really, really enjoy her writing, and I just finished Magical Midlife Madness, which I really liked. And then next up, I want to read When We Believed in Mermaids. Have any of you read that one? You know I'm a sucker for anything with mermaid in the title, so it drew me right in. So for everyone else, we've gotten a lot of questions about sort of current state of affairs on island life. And all right, I'm going to put Blue down. I think he's indicating he wants to go down here. There you go, buddy. Do those of you with dogs know that sometimes when you see your dog yawning, he's telling you he's uncomfortable? I saw his little yawn in the camera, so I think he was trying to tell me it's time to go down now.
He's had enough of stardom.
He's had enough, yes. He's quite the little diva. He's like, it's getting close to dinner time. He has more important things to be doing. So
Sylvia is reading Nothing to See Here.
Nothing to See Here. That sounds familiar.
It's delightfully disturbing.
Ooh, that's a good description. I like that.
Jan is reading In the Country of Shadows by Sidney Bradner.
Okay.
We've got a couple of people. Cheryl is rereading Grace, getting
nice.
Ready for Dreamer to come out next.
Oh, I just got that back from my editor last night. So.
And Shelley's reading Outlander.
Ooh, that got the Scotsman excited. Nice. So with what current state of affairs for us on the island is we have been declared Corona or COVID-19 free. We had cases and they have since resolved. We have, I think, 100 people in quarantine, so we're waiting. Our borders remain closed, but they have loosened restrictions a little bit here, and just mainly because no one's coming in and no one's leaving, and we're a small island. So we actually got to go to dinner, which is quite nice. We had our anniversary last week, and we kind of had like a late lunch dinner and then took a bottle of Prosecco and went to the beach, and it was really lovely. It was just kind of nice. Actually, it was nice not cooking for the first time in 2 months, not having to cook for myself. So that was kind of nice. And I don't know, it's sort of a catch-22 when it comes to what happens when we open to tourists again. Obviously, our island economy is essentially run on tourism, and it's hit a lot of people here very hard. The government has stepped up and is helping. A lot of people are also preparing sort of daily meals for children, and there's a lot of like social welfare programs that have stepped up. But eventually at some point we will need to open the borders, and then at that time it's going to pretty much probably put us back into lockdown, depending where the flights are coming from, depending what the quarantine practices look like. So it feels like we have a little bit of a reprieve for a couple weeks here, and then our government's in a tricky position of, do you let people in, do you not let people in? So otherwise, I mean, we're really busy. We're with the book business, and we've been getting everything ready for the Miss Bitch launch. Speaking of which, I did a poll the other day asking which ones of you, like, who of you watched any of the Real Housewives or any of the Bravo TV shows. And I honestly thought more of you would watch those shows. It is like my guilty pleasure. I love them. And we are having to step out of our traditional advertising because of the title of this book, we are not allowed to advertise on certain avenues like Facebook or Amazon advertising. So we're starting with different things like influencer campaigns and advertising on podcasts. And I am going to be advertising on a podcast I love called The Bitch Sesh. And that actually, it's such a guilty pleasure, but I love it. It's two women. It's Danielle, I'm forgetting her last name now, Casey Wilson and Danielle Schneider, I believe. They're both actresses in LA, and they break down the Real Housewives. So they basically have all these guests on, like Kristen Wiig and all these people, and they go through all of the Bravo shows and make fun of everything, and it cracks me up every time. So we're going to be advertising in the month of June on their podcast because they're not afraid of the word bitch, and I hope to get some upticks in sales. It'll be a new form of advertising for me, so we'll see how it goes. But if you do watch Housewives, I know a lot of you don't, but if you do, listen to that podcast.
I've got a few more current reads coming in.
Oh, okay.
If you'd like them. So Betty's reading the Moonglow Sisters. Kathleen, she's reading Untamed by
Glennon. Yeah, that's on my to be read as well. That's another woman starting over story. So this Glennon, I think it's Doyle. She had another big book a while back. I forgot, and it was something about divorce, starting her life over. And then this one's about how she left her husband and fell in love with her current wife. And so it's very interesting sort of watching the trajectory of her life, and that she's kind of put it all out there for people. So it's on my list. It's on my list to read.
We've got JJ. She's saying, "You're looking fabulous as always."
Oh, thank you.
Tricia is reading The Edge of Sight by Roxanne Sinclair.
The Edge of Sight?
Sight.
Oh, The Edge of Sight by Roxanne St. Clair. Okay. These are some good recommendations.
Kara's reading A Language Older Than Words. Oh, that sounds interesting, by Derek Jensen.
A Language Older Than Words. Is that a mystery, or is that historical?
Sounds like maybe a Dan Brown kind of
yeah.
Okay. Missy is reading The Discovery of a Witch by Susan Cates.
Nice, yes.
Oh, Dodie's on the Outlander as well.
Oh, Dodie's on the Outlander kick. Do any of you watch the Outlander show? I just started it, so we'll have to see. I'm only an episode or two in, so.
Carrie's reading The Apple Orchard Mysteries by Chelsea Thomas.
The Apple Orchard Mysteries. Okay.
Cassandra has 7 dogs.
7 dogs, Cassandra. Wow. Sorry, someone just chimed in and telling us that they had 7 dogs. So it sounds like that's a nice, healthy pack.
Heidi's reading the Hades Academy series by Abby Newell.
The Hades Academy series. Can you guys hear the Scotsman? Did anyone confirm?
Yeah,
they can hear you? Okay.
And Amanda's on Maiden to the Dragon by Matt Flynn. What a good mix here. Oh, and Kathleen, happy anniversary to you. 39 years.
Oh, Kathleen, happy anniversary. That's lovely. 39 years. Wow, good for you.
Rebecca is Scott on Her Trail by Caroline Lee.
Ooh, she likes the Scots. I agree.
Shelley's having a Prosecco.
Ooh, Prosecco.
JJ is reading a fifth of tequila.
Oh, thank you.
Got a few people saying happy anniversary.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Heidi's reading the Neverland series by K.R. Thompson.
Oh, nice.
Is that to do with Peter Pan?
I don't know that series, but I'll add it to my list.
Laurie is rereading The Wild Irish. And
Thank
Carol
you.
likes to watch murder shows and Property Brothers. We've watched a few of those.
Mm-hmm.
And Sheila is rereading a series from Patrick Rothfuss, The Name of the Wind and the Wise Man's Fear.
Okay. I'm
Luann
surprised.
says hello. Sorry.
I'm surprised by how many people I know or guests we get coming through here that love their murder shows, murder podcasts, murder books, and some of them are just like the sweetest, nicest, little cardigan wearing. And oh, I'm just listening about cereal and how to kill people. And I'm like, oh, great. Yeah, we've got a bloodthirsty lot out here. I suppose it's fascinating how people get away with stuff, but I'm definitely, so I will say with the whole Real Housewives and the reality TV, I love that stuff. It's good fodder for characters. It's good. It gets my imagination going. But I'm also often doing other things while I have it in the background until they all kick up a fuss about something, and then I'll just kind of look up and see what's going on. So it's not those shows that I'm straight in and I watch the entire time. It's more just I'll be reading and like kind of glance up and see what's all kicking off and then glance back down. Yes, Sam?
Kara says the language older in words is about interspecies communication. That sounds awesome.
Oh, that sounds cool. Okay. Karen, can you message me that so I remember? Because I might want to read that actually.
And she's also, we've got another Kara reading Torn Between Alphas.
Yeah.
Louise has just started a little book called Stolen Doll. Yeah, we've got a big mix here. Carol reading some Nora Roberts.
I love Nora Roberts.
Jen is watching Elementary on Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay. With the Stolen Dog, I was actually looking in my memories, and it was 8 years ago that Briggs was stolen, and then 7 years ago that I published my first book. So it feels like I've lived a couple lifetimes since then, but it's when you look back and just see where I've gone and what has come of that, it's just amazing to me. So I have a note. I've been getting some questions about the Kindle Unlimited, and so I just wanted to explain a little bit about how Kindle Unlimited works, because I don't think everyone understands necessarily from an author's perspective what Kindle Unlimited is. So from a reader's standpoint, Kindle Unlimited is a program that you can pay, I think it's like $10 or $15 a month, somewhere in there, and you can borrow up to 10 books at a time and return them. And from an author standpoint, unless you're with like some of the top traditional publishers, I can only, if I go into Kindle Unlimited, I'm exclusive to them for 90 days. That is Amazon's choice. I'm not allowed to break that rule. So when I'm in the program, I can only be in the program. And I can't sell on Barnes & Noble or iTunes. And one of the reasons we put more of the series in Kindle Unlimited right now is because I know a lot of people are dealing with some economic hardships, and it makes it a little bit more affordable for people to borrow my books versus buying each one. But Miss Bitch is going to be wide. So we are not enrolling that book in Kindle Unlimited. So if you are going to be buying it, I recommend buying it before, is it June 12th, Alan?
Yeah, June 12th.
Before June 12th, because it'll be priced at $4.99, and after that the price is going to go up to $8.99. So, and that is going to be wide and available everywhere. And then Wild Irish Dreamer is also going to be wide for
1 month.
1 month, and then we'll be enrolled into Kindle Unlimited with the other series. So I know that gets a little confusing for people about why the authors are making the choices they are, but it's really more that Amazon kind of like ties our hands on being able to be a part of that program and also sell elsewhere. So that's just a little explanation of what's going on with that. Next up, we just have a little bit of a giveaway like we did last time, and then we'll go into a little bit of an Ask Me Anything. So just keeping it easy today.
Debbie says it's $10 a month.
Oh,
Kindle Unlimited.
Kindle Unlimited, $10 a month. So, yeah. So today was just, I wanted to check in with everyone. I got quite a few emails after my last Facebook Live that people were bummed they missed it. And so I just thought I'd try another one and see how it goes in the corner of my living room here, because the internet at my office isn't working. Cheers again. Okay, so for our giveaway, we have paperback copies of Miss Bitch. I can't sign them for you, though, unfortunately, because getting them shipped to the island for me to sign and then sending them out is really tricky. So the best I can offer is just a paperback copy of the book. So how is this going to work? Same as last time. I'll read a question, and Alan will do his best to pick the first person with the correct answer.
Correct.
So.
And if you've already pre-ordered, it gives you time, you'll be able to cancel that if you do win.
Oh, if you do it. Okay. So for this one, you need to have downloaded and read my secret chapter for Miss Bitch. If you haven't, I will give you the URL for that, which is triciaomalley.com/VIP. That's triciaomalley.com/VIP. And you can download a secret first chapter that is not included in the book. So, for question number 1, in which U.S. city does Tess get married?
So just remember, there's a 30-second delay.
I know there's a 30-second delay, so I'm just going to hang out and do a little shimmy.
We can mention some other books while we're waiting for some answers to come in. Rebecca is reading Callan by Zoe Chant.
Ooh.
Chris likes Cindy Miles and has some great Highlander romances.
Ooh.
Oh, we've got Chris is first in there. Let me just double check. Yeah, Chris has got New Orleans is the correct answer.
All right, Chris, that is correct. Tess does get married in New Orleans.
So Chris, just send us a message either by Facebook or email. It's info@triciaomalley.com with your address, and I'll get those posted on.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris.
Got quite a few good. Cheryl got the right answer. Dan got the right answer.
Some of you have been reading my chapter.
Lots of right answers, but Chris, I've got you as the first correct answer.
All right. Great job, Chris. Okay. Now, the next up is, in what country did I meet Alan? And bonus points if you can get the name of the island. I feel like I need... What's the waiting music? Like, do, because of the delay.
Lynn is reading What Alice Forgot by Ian Moriarty.
Oh, yeah. Did they make that a movie? I feel like they did.
Okay. Oh, I've not seen any right answers yet.
Oh,
what
are
here we
guessing?
go. Luann, congratulations.
So,
Louise, you were there. You just missed it. Luann, Mexico, Cozumel.
correct.
Both.
So I did. I met the Scotsman in Cozumel, Mexico on a dive trip. All right, next up, we talked about my love of reality television. So Lisa Vanderpump is the queen of reality TV. She's the star of Vanderpump Rules and what other reality TV show? Go.
So, Luann, just send us a Facebook message or an email with your address, and we'll get those sent away. We're not sure what the shipping times are just now.
It's going to be a couple of weeks. The print books might be a little delayed. So
I'll let you know.
I ordered my author copies of Miss Bitch today just to a forwarding address in Florida, and that said 2 weeks. So there's going to be a delay on those, which I understand. I mean, it's a non-essential. So, has anyone gotten my next question?
We've got a couple close, but I think we need to. So we need to know which specific one. So.
Not quite there yet, guys.
Jean, you're close.
Which of the reality franchises is Lisa Vanderpump a part of?
Oh, here we go. We have Rosanna. It is Real Housewives, Beverly Hills.
Rosanna, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
So we're looking for the front. Heidi and you got close with Real Housewives. We have Housewives in New York. We have Housewives in LA, but it's the Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Rosanna, send us a message and we will, with your address, and we'll ship you a print book. All right, I am going to start. This is for all you bartenders or those who just love your cocktails, I'm going to start reading out the ingredients of the Scotsman's favorite non-whiskey based cocktail. The first one who gets it gets a copy of Miss Bitch shipped to them. So, are you ready for this? Now, of course he loves whiskey, but sometimes he wants something else. So, here are the ingredients, if you can guess. Soda water, 1 ounce of fresh lime juice, 2 teaspoons of sugar. Michelle Hoff, I'm looking at you for this one. 1.5 ounces of white rum, 6 leaves of mint. All right, let's see who gets it. The Scotsman is reading me nothing, so I'll just sit here and
they're just coming through. Oh, and Deb gets it. Deb with a mojito.
Mojito. The Scotsman loves a
Louise,
mojito.
you came in second again. You're so close. We need to get it.
Sorry, Louise, that's a second place. So a couple other things we have going on. So that's the end of our giveaway. We just did a couple things, and then we're going to go into an Ask Me Anything. So if you have questions for me, get them ready. We are doing a Goodreads giveaway. So if you're on Goodreads, what?
Sorry, I'm just giggling. Heidi had a little bit of an autocorrect. Her guess was a mosquito.
Oh. Oh, we should make that drink, though.
Yeah, we should.
All right, bartender is on there. Decide what would be a mosquito-themed drink, because they love me. I know I've talked about this in the past online, and people aren't really feeling bad for me in the tropics, but the bugs are annoying, okay?
Our bartender's coming back in, and she said, I've stepped away for a second.
Oh. She had to go mix the cocktail.
And Deb was joining us on our happy hour, so she was the one drinking the blueberry mojito. So that's good.
Nice. What is it? Just a normal mojito with just some blueberries added, or
she makes her own
special?
blueberry compost.
Ooh. Oh.
Not to be mistaken for compost, which I'm making as well.
Yes, the Scotsman is getting very big into gardening. So he's got his plants everywhere. He's composting, and he's had a few peppers spring up, and some dill. Carrots are going. Okay, so I am doing a Goodreads giveaway. So if you're on Goodreads, look for the giveaway there. If you go to my Facebook page, I also am doing a bitch-themed giveaway. So I believe there's a mug that says, "That's Miss Bitch to you." There's a Miss Bitch tote. There's Amazon gift cards. Is there any other? Oh, there's a bitch-themed candle. Sophisticated Bitch, I think it was. So you can go and sign up there. Follow me on Instagram, please. If you are an Instagram people, find me at Tricia O'Malley Author. If you follow me through the giveaway, you get extra entries, which is a nice little option. And I think that is about it of my notes. And now we're going into the scary portion, which is Ask Me Anything. So if any of you have particular questions for me, let me know.
We did have a question earlier. I think it was from Dodie, actually. And she was asking, do you ever suffer from writer's block? And if you do, how do you combat it?
Okay. So I don't. So the question was, do I suffer from writer's block? And if so, how do I get around it or get through it? So I work really, really well with deadlines. Otherwise, I have a million distractions here, and I have an ocean outside I can go in and be away from it all. So I set pretty hard deadlines with myself and with my editors that I remind myself that if they don't get my book, then I'm off their calendar, and that what I pay them could have been, their rent for the month and things like that. So I try to very much, like, my editors hold my feet to the fire. So I also have sprinting buddies, which is author friends of mine, and I will go on, Facebook Messenger and something like that, and we'll all sit down and say, all right, it's time to write. And then we will write in sprints of like 15, 20 minutes, and then just message each other when the timer's up. and say what our word count is. So there's certain things like that that kind of will push me past a writer's block. But I don't think I truly believe in writer's block so much as me just talking myself out of wanting to do work, if I'm being totally honest. Like, I think when it comes down to it, if I just put my butt in the seat and start writing, eventually it starts flowing. Of course, I have better days and days where I can do 11,000 words and days where all I can get out is 2,000 and then I'm done. But ultimately, I think it's more me talking myself out of doing work than it being an actual writer's block. So.
And Nancy has got a little tip, says that grapes apparently deter mosquitoes. I've not heard that one before.
Grapes deter mosquitoes.
Nancy, do you throw the grapes at the mosquitoes, or is it just eating them, or does wine work? Like, if we have to consume them, does wine?
So, in case you couldn't hear the Scotsman, someone recommended grapes for mosquitoes. He wants to know if you throw the grapes at the mosquitoes or if you drink them in wine form. Both of which I will try after this.
Vicky's just asking, how are we doing with COVID?
So a question about COVID. I had touched on it a little bit earlier, but we're doing okay. For now, the island has mostly resolved cases and people in quarantine. So we, aside from going out to dinner twice now since they loosened restrictions, we are fairly solitary. I've just been working on book stuff and promos and keeping our space, respecting the social distancing. And scuba diving is a great way to do that. Being underwater with a regulator in your mouth is about as socially distanced as I can get from everyone. So I've been enjoying that.
Deb sent us her mojito recipe, so we'll try that later on. Cara wants to know, is that an aloe plant behind you, and is it real? We're about to break. It's like Disney, nothing's real.
So yes, this is an aloe plant. No, it's not real, but we have a ton of real ones in the garden, actually. So if you remind me, I can do a little video walk around of our garden and you can see. And in fact, so of course, as some of you know, I don't do the gardening because I like the plants and I want them to live. So that is the Scotsman's domain. But one day he came running into the house and he had blood just, I mean, it looked like the man had been gone to battle. Like, I mean, when you think like Braveheart and he's got the curls and he's covered in blood, it's like, what happened? And he was gardening. He just got the spike of the aloe plant right in his head. And you know how foreheads bleed? It was the tiniest little hole, but it was like squirting everywhere. So the aloe plants gave him a little backup.
And Luann, how often do y'all dive, and what is your favorite place to dive?
Ooh, okay, hold on. This one is requesting to be up again. So I try to dive anywhere from like 3 to 5 times a week if I'm not super busy on a deadline with stuff. And I vary that between day and night dives. I've really gotten into a lot of night diving lately because I'm looking for the really tiny little critters. Favorite place to dive really depends on what I'm looking for. So if I want to get in with like the really big sharks and things like that, I really liked Cat Island in the Bahamas. And then we were meant to go to Galapagos to get in with the hammerheads. And of course, with everything going on, we've had to delay that trip. But I think that's going to be my next favorite place.
Luann, are you a diver? And if so, where's your favorite spot?
Scotsman wants to know, Luann, if you dive, where is your favorite spot to dive?
And Diane is asked, where do you find your clothes? You always wear the prettiest things.
Oh, thank you. So someone is asking me where I find my clothes. I definitely have to say that I've moved. I was always kind of a maxi dress, flowy girl, but back in the States, like in Wisconsin, I wore a lot of black. Not to say there's anything wrong with black. I love black, but I've embraced more colorful prints. Being on the island, there's a lot more colors, and so This particular dress is like a $20 dress from Amazon, actually. It's just like an Amazon Basics, and they come in a gazillion different prints. If you want, shoot me a message. I will send you the link. It's just nice and flowy and easy. And
what's your New Orleans designer that I like?
oh, so there's a really cool store in New Orleans called Tricia. I love it. And so they do these, it's sort of like a 50s style and upwards, but they have like different dress names. So like the Doris is cut a certain way, or the maxi dress is whatever. And then they make them in all these cool prints. And so it's like the same dresses done in all these different prints. And then they have funky shoes. And I mean, what a great name, Trashy Diva. So look them up online. Oh, and I did yesterday was, do any of you guys know the John Fluvog shoes? Yesterday was Fluvog Day. And I actually I had ordered my first pair. So Alan had brought them over for me to share in case anyone wanted to see. I mean, look at how cool these are. My first pair of Fluvogs. Look at that little blue on the heel. I love it. Sorry, Blue.
Rebecca asks, have you ever been scared on a dive?
Not scared. There's times I would say where my anxiety might have kicked up a little bit, but part of your dive training is also to circumvent, like, you want to talk yourself through any sort of those panic kind of situations. And so there's been a few times where, especially when you see sharks hunting and things like that, where I'm not necessarily scared that they're going to attack me so much as maybe mistake me for something. So that's where you have to change your behavior and pull back and give them space. But not particularly scared. If ever my anxiousness would bother me, you go through the steps in your head and you check your air, you remind yourself of where you are, you look for your buddy, and usually 9 times out of 10 you can just calm yourself down just fine.
Jen asks, when did you go to Ireland for the first time, and what's your favorite place to visit there?
I went to Ireland for the first time about 12 years ago. Gosh, it's crazy when you think about how much time flies. I think it's about 12 years ago. And pretty much have tried to go back every other year since. And my favorite is Dingletown, and it's the Sleigh Head Drive along the Dingle Peninsula. That's in the Ring of Kerry. I absolutely love that area. Galway is amazing. Kinsale's lovely. And then we were just at a friend's wedding up in Cardiff, way up north, and that was really lovely as well.
Lynn asks, since quarantine's been in place, have you been cooking lots? And if so, what's your favorite meal would you like to cook?
Ooh, we have been cooking a lot. I've been on a salad kick lately now that so island living's a little tricky. You don't go to the store with a recipe. You go to the store and the store will tell you what you're having for dinner. So it's sort of we had a whole batch of fresh stuff come in. So I've been on like a traditional wedge salad kick this past week. But one of my favorites is I like to make empanadas. And I do that. I actually make the empanada dough with almond and tapioca flour and coconut milk. So they're gluten-free and paleo for all those people who follow those kind of diets. And then you can fill the insides with anything. So if you're a meat eater, you can do like ground beef and stuff. Or if you're not, you can I like to do like black beans and sweet potatoes and like taco seasoning in the middle. A little bit of cheese.
Kathy says hi and she loves your books.
Hi, Kathy.
Vicky says, good to know we're staying safe. Was enjoying your live feeds, all of your books, and but her favorite thing is Blue.
It's okay, guys. I know you're here for Blue.
And Cara wants to come around and then give Blue a little pet as well.
Aw.
Uh,
Bumps. Bumps.
Deidre asks, what do you miss most from the Midwest?
Bumps. That's Blue giving me bumps, if you can see. Good boy. Good boy. You want bumps? Bumps. There you go. What do I miss? I'm sorry. What was the question?
What do you miss most from the Midwest?
From
Is
the-
it cheese?
It's probably cheese, yeah. I do miss, yeah, I mean, from the Midwest, it would be
Packers games?
Packers games, tailgating, just like that Sunday sports, a really good Bloody Mary, and cheese.
Ooh, Diane says Tom's has a new line of mermaid shoes out. Have to check those.
Ooh, mermaid shoes from Tom's. All right, good to know.
Michelle's already on it. Like, we're making a new variation of the stinger, so the mosquito.
Oh, okay. So my friend Michelle is a bartender, and she's on the live feed. And I asked her earlier. I asked about a different. What could we make a drink for the mosquito? And she's going to do a variation of the stinger. So that works. I love you, baby clown. You're a clown. Okay, you're a good boy.
Dimitri loves Galway.
Well, I love Galway.
Tricia is asking, have you been to the North Coast, Bundoran?
I have not, unless we drove up on the way. We went from Dublin. We went Dublin all the way up the coast to Cardiff. We did most of the coastal routes. You might have gone through it. We stopped at a couple little towns along the way. Can't remember them all, I'm sorry.
And Cheryl was in Galway back in November to surprise her cousin for her 60th.
Oh, fun. Galway's a great city.
And any more questions? I think that's about it. I think we got it, all the questions.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up right about this time anyway, so thank you all for joining me. Lou says, I love you. Say I love you. And
we've got a few different cocktail recipes to try now.
All right. Thank you for the cocktail recipes. Thank you again for all your support. It's my beta readers, people leaving reviews, people checking in with me, everyone who's pre-ordered. Love to you all. Thank you so much. We all say goodbye. Have a great night. And one more cheers. Lunchba.
Bye, guys. Have a great weekend.